Hey, welcome back to the channel. As you guys can tell by the title of this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys why I left my last church and how it has benefited me for the better, right? So before we even get started, make sure you guys subscribe below, turn on the little bell so that you guys are notified of when I post new videos. And if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Aisha Denise. And if you are just one that is known for staying in your comfort zone, it's really hard for you to step out on faith and try new things, or to just go for that thing. This is probably the channel for you, because I am definitely always encouraging others as well as myself. Number one, most of you guys could probably relate to this story, but ever since I was young, I was going to this very small church, and most of my family was going there. My grandma would always encourage me and the family to go. She would always like dress us in like little dresses and stockings, and just kind of take us to church on Sunday morning. When you're a child, all you really want to do is like make your parents happy. You listen to them, they tell you that you're going to church, you're going to church. As you begin to get older, you're like, why do I do these things? Why do I practice these things? So I began to feel really stagnant. I felt like at one point I was like, I am actually stagnant. Like, I don't feel like I'm growing in my faith. So I feel like being in my 20s has really been teaching me, like, answer those questions, those basic questions, such as, who am I? What am I here for? Why do I go to church? Do I believe in God? Why do I believe in God? Why am I Christian? Why am I not Muslim? Or, you know what I mean? Like, so these questions that we have to ask ourselves. Keep in mind, this is a church that I literally was baptized at. I have been going to since I was a baby. Like, I haven't gone to any other church. I would visit my other grandmother's church on the weekends occasionally, but other than that, like, this was the church that I was going to. So to be leaving, that was a huge leap of faith, and I had to really know why I was leaving in order for me to just leave. So yeah. So it wasn't until one Sunday where we had fellowship Sunday, and I was sitting downstairs. We were all eating, and everyone was fellowshipping, and I was sitting there by myself. I didn't have anyone to talk to that day. Everybody else was talking amongst their little cliques and their groups, and I'm just looking around at how everyone has someone, how everyone was just so content, and how everyone else belonged. And I was just thinking about the fact that I didn't belong. That's when I realized, like, Aisha, you have to go. And I didn't necessarily know how I was going to leave, because, like I said, when you've been attending a church for a really long time, it's kind of hard for you to just be like, deuces. Like, it's not like leaving a school, or it's a little bit harder, because especially when you feel like people have this expectation of you to, like, stay, or you're just not wanting to disappoint people, or whatever the case is. You guys won't believe how long it took me to actually be like, bye. So it took me an entire year, not from that specific day, but just in general, it took me an entire year. This is something that was on my heart for a good year and a half maybe, but it took me an entire year to really, like, write this letter and say what I was feeling, and to actually take action and do what I needed to do for me. Because and honestly, that's huge. Not a lot of people can do that. Some people stay in situations for years because they don't know how to leave. They don't know what step to take. They don't have the courage, they don't have the strength. But if that's you, if you feel like, not even with a church, but if it's a relationship, if it's a school, if it's a church, if it's some sort of group you're in, if it's a job, whatever it is, like, I'm just encouraging you, if you know in your heart that something's not for you, do not continue to stay there, because it's damaging. Not only are you wasting your time, but you're not growing. And y'all know how I feel about growth. I feel like if you're not growing, you're not succeeding, and that's a problem. I don't think any of us should sacrifice our success or our growth for anything or anyone. Don't care so much about how people are going to feel. I had to learn, like, look, I don't care about how anyone feels about something that I'm doing if it's the best for me. If you love me, if you care about me, you're going to want me to do what's best for me. And that goes for the people in your life as well. If those people love you and they care about you, they're going to want you to do what's best for you. So yes, I wrote a letter and I was like, I don't feel like my spirit is being moved here. Like, I want to attend a church that has more young adults. And I had a clear mindset of what I needed and what I wanted. I knew that I wanted to make more church friends. I needed more church friends that were actually walking in their faith and not pretending to. And I just knew that if I was going to take this walk with the Lord seriously, I had to first take that transition of leaving the church that I wasn't growing in to begin with. Because at that time I was like, if I join small groups, if I get more involved in the church, if I meet new church friends, I'll be more motivated and moved to learn more about the Lord, because I'm surrounded by people who are living that same lifestyle. You know what I mean? So once you come to that realization of why something's not working for you and how you can make it better and what you actually need, a lot of times it's a lot easier for you to kind of get out of the situation that you're not supposed to be in. So that was my story. It was really, really hard. No, I have not been back to the church since I left, and it's something that I've thought about, but I'm like, God, why do I need to go back? I mean, I don't really feel like I need to go back. I definitely put in the letter that I was thankful for everything that I've learned there. I was thankful for everyone who extended love towards me, but right now, currently, I don't feel like I need to go there to like visit. I will one day maybe, but I'm just not really ready for the pressure of like, how's everything going? Like all those questions like, how are you? Are you in school? Where are you working? But I'm not saying that I'll never go back to visit, but as of right now, I just don't feel moved. I have to really feel moved to do something sometimes. So I don't feel guilty. I feel like I'm doing my thing right now. I really, really love the church that I'm going to right now. It's Christ. I attend Christ Church. I'm involved with 2 small groups. I'm meeting new church friends and like people who are actually walking with the Lord. I love my small groups. I talk about it all the time in my videos. And it's crazy how like I was just maybe 2 years ago, maybe like a year and a half ago to 2 years ago, I was journaling about how I want more church friends, and here I am in like I've met so many people, and it's just so exciting to be. I never would have thought that I would be a part of a huge church. Like I feel like I don't like being a number. I was the same way with school. Like I didn't want to go to a big school where I was just a number. I wanted to go to a school where the professor actually knew me. So it's kind of dope to be, to not feel like I'm just a number in a church. Although it's very big, with me being involved and like saying hi to people, not being so like closed up in a box every Sunday and consistently going every Sunday, you start to get to know people and you start to actually like learn faces and put names to faces. So it's actually really a good feeling when you can actually accomplish a goal that you had set for yourself, and God is actually meeting you halfway. Like God really met me halfway, and here I am just growing in the spirit and growing in my faith and surrounding myself with people who are like-minded. That is so key. Surround yourself with people who are like-minded. Before I end this video, I just want to say, if you are currently attending a church that you know that you're not supposed to be attending, or it's just hard for you, if it was the church that you grew up in and you're like, I don't really feel like my spirit is being moved here anymore, but I don't know how to leave. Trust me, I've been there. My best advice would be to pray, definitely journal or think about what it is you need. You don't leave anything without knowing what it is you need instead, right? Like, you're not going to leave a job and without applying for another one or having another one on the back burner. You're not going to leave a job not knowing where you want to go next. That's just stupid, right? So same with church. Like, don't leave a church without knowing where you're trying to head next, or don't leave a church without having an idea of why you're leaving and what you need instead. Okay, so I would definitely recommend writing a letter to the pastor or talking to the pastor in person, whatever the procedure is at the church. I know for me, I had to write a letter that was like appropriate. They expect you to write a letter. Just let them know like why you're leaving, whatever. So whatever you have to do, don't just leave. That's so tacky. Definitely write a letter or like do some type of public speech, whatever you got to do, and figure out what it is you need. And if those people love you, regardless of how long you've been going there, regardless of their expectations of you, this is your life and you need to live your life. You have to do what's best for you. And sometimes people aren't going to agree with you. People aren't going to agree with our decisions. They're not going to understand our decisions, but that's not for them to understand. We got to run our own race, okay? So I just encourage you and rebuke the spirit of fear right now. I rebuke the spirit of hesitation. If you're going through this type of issue, I pray that the Lord will help you just overcome this and find the words and figure out what it is you need. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for my next video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.